We do have a record total number of Americans working today, so there is that. Here to break it all down is Deke Digital Chairman Dave Maney. We've also got Market Watch columnist Brett Ahrens. Brett, let me begin with you and get your take first on these added sanctions against Iran. They're more substantial than we appreciated before. The Iranians are dismissing it, saying it's no big deal. I'm paraphrasing here, but your thoughts?
Well, I mean, clearly the market isn't that worried. I know it's taken the markets off the tops they had before the announcement, but the movement is very small, and it does come from off a record high. And also, it should be added, we're going into the weekend. A lot of traders don't want to position themselves too aggressively going into 2 days where the markets are closed. So you've probably got a fair amount of profit taking and so forth, moving the markets. So look, the markets don't seem to be particularly concerned, and to the extent that you're sanctioning Iranian or Chinese companies that compete with U.S. companies, there is potentially a net positive for U.S. companies, particularly maybe manufacturers, people in the metal industry, iron and so forth. But I don't know at this point if it's that substantial.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that right now. A little too early, Judge, and it might be just an opportunity to take some profits. But, Dave, I was noticing if and when we close at 29,000, the short leap that it took, a little more than a month to come from 28,000, at least intraday, was highlighted by big run-ups in Apple and Nike and J.P. Morgan Chase, and that led the rally from 28,000. What are you making of that? Because Apple continues even to lead off where it left off.
Yeah, their announcement on the services side and the success of the App Store kind of shows that they're making the sort of transition that Microsoft made before them from hardware-related sales, because Microsoft used to be so dependent on new PC sales, to an increasingly large services business. And they were the laggard and have a lower multiple than Microsoft and Amazon and Google do. As a result, they're kind of now creeping up in the same direction. If they can continue to show that, they're going to continue to have that kind of strength. But I think it's look, it's a strong time. If you look at the overall markets, I think the idea that the market has, I think, would have one large fear, which is, some kind of really aggressive regulation regime, Democratic candidate winning the presidency. And it seems to me that you're watching this Iranian thing play out in a way that seems to be, in effect, lowering the discount rate on a Trump win for next year. And I think that makes a big difference to people.
A lot of people have said the same, Brett, about the markets are a great mechanism for forecasting how an election could go, usually closer to the election. Having said that, what would happen if the markets had a surprise? I mean, if you buy the argument, and this is generally a consensus, always risky on Wall Street, that Donald Trump's going to be reelected. If that looks ever in doubt, is this rally in doubt?
Oh, sure. Look, somebody in the markets said to me earlier today, he said as a joke, he said, when Elizabeth Warren looks at her 401k, she must be tempted to vote for Donald Trump. The market is very bullish on Trump. The jobs report is very good for the president because it is, people saying, oh, it's below expectations. It's good, it's solid. The U6, which is the real unemployment rate, showing all the underemployed, the people who are only working part-time jobs, that's at a record low. And yet at the same time, there's no uptick in inflation. The Fed funds, if anything, are like the Fed may be looking at cuts. So the jobs report is good for the president. I do think, yes, if there were a shock of some sort to put the president's re-election under serious question, that would, at least in the short term, have some effect on the market. Simply because everyone's priced in, one outcome, and, if another outcome comes along, they have to redo their numbers. So I don't know what it is long term. I mean, look, we're running trillion-dollar deficits at the moment with very low unemployment. So, of course, the economy is doing well. The mystery for a lot of us, and I put myself in this, the mystery is why we're not seeing stronger earnings growth or an uptick in inflation. That's a sort of interesting thing, even though we are running these gigantic federal deficits, we're spending all this money, even at a time when the economy is very strong. But look, it's great for Trump. He is looking very good. The markets, the betting markets, the bookmakers are giving him at least a 50% chance of getting reelected. I personally would take the over on that. And it's interesting, by the way, his his odds on getting reelected have improved dramatically since the launch of the impeachment move in the House in late September. So
right.
that is the two may not be connected, but certainly impeachment is not hurting him.
Well, you might be more right than you suspect, my friend. I want to thank you both very much.